So, you found yourself listening to this rewatch podcast for the TV show Black Mirror, and for that, well, thank you. But before we start though, I'd like you to do something for me if you could. Just a small favour. I know that we've only just met, but I would appreciate it. Just please pick up your phone. Now come on, don't be shy. Just open it up, have a look at all those apps that you've got, the social media feeds. Know that you're holding quite a bit of power at your fingertips. Innovation. All the technology that's in that phone. All the technology that we haven't experienced yet. Stuff that's just around. But it's all there at your fingertips. Eh? I'd say it's great. But now, turn it off. But keep looking at the phone. Look past the blackness. Just stare and look at yourself. You see, I feel it's important to do this. Look at yourself in the mirror. See your reflection staring back at you. And that's the outward appearance. The normal you. The you that people see. But, you see, it's only ever a matter of time before the flaws are revealed. Before the cracks start to show. Well, that's your shattered reflection. And the following are ours. Welcome to Shattered Reflections.
That's the name of this podcast. Also known as ShatRef for short.
Yep, I didn't realize we were going to go from name to funny abbreviation in 5 seconds, but you know what? I'll take it. I've adopted ShatRef as our background name. But this is Shattered Reflections. This is a Black Mirror rewatch podcast.
Well, rewatch for some of us.
Yeah, I mean, we'll go straight into this actually then. We'll just start this very quickly. I'm Ryan, and I have watched all but one episode of Black Mirror, I've realised.
All but one.
All but one, because one I just never got round to at the time. But given the current political climate, it'll be interesting to watch.
Well, I guess that makes you and I equal and opposite, because I'm Duncan, and you may know me from the Immaterial Gamers podcast. And I have watched none but one episodes of Black Mirror, and that's the first one, which we're talking about today.
Sweet. So this is a whole new venture for you.
Absolutely. I did absolutely zero research, and I watched it for the first time last night. So I am as new and fresh as physically possible.
You are on virgin territory.
Yes.
That is correct. I am definitely virgin. Virgin territory is a phrase that actually is used in the episode.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. And Dariusz.
Hello. I'm still alive, if you're wondering.
Okay, cool. Dariusz is still alive, and
I wasn't worried, but now I am a little bit.
Oh man, can we go on the idea that you've had a tumultuous relationship with Black Mirror then?
Well, I've watched a few random episodes of this.
Yeah.
And I definitely seen the first one some time ago.
Yeah.
More likely around the time it came out.
Mm.
So this episode is a rewatch. Probably second and third will not be, but then maybe the first or second episode from the second series.
Sweet. So yeah, we've got various experiences of Black Mirror, but probably one of the questions that you're asking, if you've actually just stumbled upon this podcast and randomly went, "What's Black Mirror?" Well, for a start, can I find out what the price of your cave is?
To be fair, I didn't really know what Black Mirror was before you started talking about it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess.
Price of my cave is about $1,330 a month.
Ah. Okay.
Goes up about 2% a year.
Fair enough. Thank you, Duncan. I should probably go on the idea that not everyone. It's not as culturally big around the world. I mean, Netflix has changed that a little bit, but when Black Mirror first came out, it was intrinsically British.
It's definitely British.
Yeah, and that's sort of changed somewhat. But yeah, so Black Mirror is a anthology series, standalone stories of sort of drama, horror, satire, black comedy, sometimes action.
Many parallels have been drawn to the Twilight Zone of yesteryear for good reason. I definitely got that feeling watching this.
Yeah, definitely, and it's the underlying theme is sort of the use of technology, or in terms of social media, VR, new technologies, existing concepts, sort of modernized concepts.
And there's going to be lots to talk about that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. And we'll get it out of here initially, straight out of it. So, yeah, there was a lot of internet discourse stating that they had some problems with the way that Black Mirror worked. So they were a bit scared of the idea of, oh, it's technology, it's always, what if X technology but bad? Or what if X technology but worse? Let me get it out there straight off. I don't think that's ever going to be the case. There are 20... Well, when this comes out, which we're due to bring out on the day of the 5th series of Black Mirror, there will be 23 episodes. I'm going to say it now, there is one episode where the technology is inherently evil by design. The series kind of follows more on the idea of the technology being there, and it's the problem with humanity, the backward species that we are, using said technology for stupid reasons and nefarious ends or statements. And so this all came from the mind of the critic, now writer, and Mr. Charlie Brooker. Before this, did you ever know who he is?
I do not know the dude.
Okay, so he had a website called TV Go Home, which was just a satirical look on TV guides and shows, and then just became a critic from there. He's a creator of the Wipe series of stuff in the UK, which was so you had News Wipe, Screen Wipe, and Games Wipe, which is where I first found him.
Okay.
Yeah, quite a bit of a critic guy, basically an angry man.
Sounds like he likes to wipe a lot of shit.
But,
wiping shit. Funny joke.
ha 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 ha. No, if we have a look at a sort of comparison in terms of the internet culture, Yahtzee Croshaw of the Zero Punctuation series.
Mm-hmm.
He says he was inspired by TV Go Home. So that sort of gives you the idea of what kind of sort of critic Charlie Brooker is.
Yeah, it gives you my connection.
Yeah. So that brings it there. But the main thing is that he ended up going into writing. He did two sort of things. He did a sort of a weird, I think it was a comedy series called Nathan Barley. Don't know much about it. Sorry, can't help you on there. But he also did a spoof sort of horror thriller called Dead Set, which was, what if the TV show Big Brother was still going on in the middle of a zombie apocalypse?
Okay, the concept sounds like fun.
Yeah.
There's a whole different meaning to the idea of getting voted out of the house.
Yeah. Oh, right. You've now been evicted, and oh, that's a shame. There goes
Evicted,
Jenny.
eviscerated, and engulfed.
Yep. But yeah, no. So it's a co-production this between him and his producer and co-showrunner Annabelle Jones. Other technical stuff. It was part of Zeppotron, which is the name of the production company at the time, which is part of an Endemol thing, who dealt with all the reality TV stuff like Big Brother, so you can kind of see where the links go there. It's now known as House of Tomorrow, with the Netflix collaboration. We're going to have 5 series, 2 of which initially aired on our terrestrial TV in the UK of Channel 4, before then the series got picked up by Netflix and went huge.
I like that you refer to it as the terrestrial TV, like future seasons beyond... future series beyond series 2 are all from like space. Yeah.
So they're the extraterrestrial TV channels. So we've had that. There are now 23 episodes at the time of recording. There are 20, 2 of which are specials. Christmas special, which is certainly not A Christmas Carol, and then the interactive film Bandersnatch. But that's going to be its own problem. We'll get round to that later. But based on that, I think we've had enough of the intro, and it's time to actually get into the first of our 23 episodes. For all the way back from Season 1, we've got the National Anthem.
The National Anthem. Yep, I've got it right here.
Was the National Anthem for Canada?
Canada.
Our home and native land.
Yeah, and then there's a God save... I'm not singing. I
like that you got further with the Canadian one than the British one.
I don't know. I think I hear it so much in competitions when we get announced on the stage. That it's just ingrained now. I like to sample new anthems. But yeah, so this one came out on the 4th of December 2011.
That's a while ago. That's
Yeah, that's
8 years ago.
7.5, yeah, so we're not far off. My God, how time has gone.
It's funny how I have to say, like, when I found out how old this was, I found it shocking, like, how, like, relevant it was, like, in a meta sense, and also, like, in a, like, very, like, direct sense. Like, I drew some parallels. I drew a lot of parallels between, like, you know, some the current political state of affairs in a few different countries, and you know, the overall story of this episode really jumped off the page, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, to think, nearly 8 years old, and it is still as, well, it's timeless at this point, because, yeah, like you said, still as relevant now as it was 8 years ago.
And you talk about how this show is all about technology and such. Is that, Ryan, what's the first thing that you see and hear in this episode?
It is a phone.
Yep.
A smartphone. Well, it's a BlackBerry. Oh yeah, they've fallen. That's probably what's not relevant now.
That's the least. That's the part that aged the poorest.
Yeah. So
although
yeah,
I actually heard that President Obama, to go on a tangent here, had a BlackBerry because it can't have like things with like it can't take video. The president's not allowed to have a phone that has video, or like it has to have like very limited access to like the internet and stuff.
Yeah, no. And who do we have now? Donald Trump that always needs Twitter.
Yeah, we'll talk about him. He's gonna come up.
Oh, he will certainly come up. Particularly in that episode that I haven't watched yet. There'll be sort of an interesting idea on that. So, quick ones on there. Directed by a fellow known as Otto Bathurst. Now, where is he from? Well, he might have been from episodes of stuff in the UK that we won't have watched, like Hustle and Peaky Blinders. But he was also the director of that recent 2018 Robin Hood film. You know, the one that wasn't great.
I don't even know about a Robin Hood film in 2018. Oh, 2008 or 2018?
2018.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't even... Yeah. Totally off my radar.
I wouldn't worry about it. I've heard it's not great. But yeah, he's also noted for, and I had a look at the IMDb for this, he's also noted for doing a short series or film called Shoreditch Twat. I don't know. I don't even
know how to spell what you just said.
So Shoreditch, as in the area, and then just twat.
I have no idea.
You know, good old swears. But no, I don't know what it's about. I'm just going to leave it, and I'm just going to assume it's about a twat from Shoreditch. Cast notables: Rory Kinnear plays Michael Callow, the Prime Minister in this scenario. He has been in something big. He plays Tanner, an assistant in the Daniel Craig 007 films. Sort of background character. Certainly not as prominent as he is in this. Who else did I see on here? A guy called Donald Sumter. He played...
Yeah, I know him. That's Maester Lewin from Game of Thrones, Seasons 1 and 2.
Yep. He was Kemp in the UK version of Being Human. And recently he's in Chernobyl, the HBO drama that's pretty highly rated and is on my radar to watch at some point. And then we got Princess Susanna, played by Lydia Wilson, who she was in episodes of Ripper Street, and she was also the secondary antagonist in the recent Star Trek film, Star Trek Beyond. She's Kalara. She's the one who, spoilers for anyone who's not watched it yet, gets crushed by the saucer section of the Enterprise.
That's a lot of stuff to get crushed by.
Yeah.
A lot of shit.
Yeah. So we've had some of them. We might make a game with some of them because the cast of Black Mirrors get more and more notable as the show progresses. But they were just some relatively, I say small. They're actually quite big in their own way. But yeah, so it's time to get into the bulk of the episode, and we'll go through the story beats. So yeah, Duncan, you mentioned that the first thing that we see in this episode past the credits, or the opening title sequence, is Callow just ignoring his mobile phone in the morning.
Yeah, it just vibrates right off the nightstand, falls right on the floor.
Yep. It's nice to see that his cabinet and his advisors, though, have the contingency plan to think, shit, he's not answering his phone. Let's just phone the landline. Landline? But they do. Yeah, he gets up. He's
You remember landlines, right, Dariusz?
No,
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Like the thing is connected to the wall socket in the
No
room.
way.
And it do bring, and you were then sort of, unless you got a cordless version, you were then tied to this piece of plastic with a cable on the side, and you can only go so far. It's like a mobile phone, but a lot more restricted. So that's how that works. So he gets a phone call, and he's told to basically get the fuck up. It's time to have a meeting because something important's happened, something quite disturbing. And we then cut to him downstairs in his house. He's still in his robe, and he's watching a ransom video. And it's the ransom video of the entirely fictional Princess Susanna of Belmont, where she's pleading for her life. She doesn't want to read the message, but she basically decides that she must have to. And she basically goes that she's kidnapped. She's going to die at 4 p.m. unless Mr. Callow, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, does one demand. Just one specific demand. And they pause the video at that point. The advisors, they just go, just so you know, we have every intent of finding her, but they've got a demand. Oh well, and Callow's like, well, what's the demand? So yeah, this one demand that he's got is just like, is it money, releasing a prisoner? He mentions some sort of charity thing.
Well, that's what we would expect, isn't it? Especially from like, let's call it a standard TV series or a movie.
Yeah, we would normally expect from a random terrorist act to be like, okay, they want something that would aid them politically, whether that's money or a favor or something like that.
Yeah, no, not this kidnapper. No, he's got one demand. Just one. On live TV, across all networks, terrestrial and satellite, in the United Kingdom, have full, uncensored, sexual intercourse with a pig. Yeah,
and there you have it. Simple premise.
Yeah, it's a pretty simple sort of premise at that point. And just to sort of go on this, when Black Mirror was announced, and they were talking about some of the episodes, it was like, well, what is this? Is this a comedy? Is it satire? Is it just like a spoof series? Is it anything like what Charlie's done before? And one of the idea is, no, this is straight-laced drama. And then the first synopsis for the National Anthem comes out, and they talk about the pig fucking, and we're like, oh, he's had us. He's had us. Is this just a comedy about sort of a Prime Minister who has to fuck a pig? No. Based on this, knowing what you know now on it, Duncan and Dariusz, on this, did you expect this to go as straight as it did all the way through?
It's going straight all the way through. Hail. I will say that I definitely had the problem where I had no idea what to expect when going into the show because I knew nothing about it. But even still, anything I could have expected, I definitely didn't expect what I got.
Yeah.
I was definitely taken aback despite having no expectations.
Yeah, sort of on that idea of like, no, they can't be doing this, right?
Yeah.
And Dariusz, you the same on that?
Oh yeah, I don't really thought it would be that kind of weird.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Yeah, and it's sort of weird, isn't it? It's like how something could be so, how it could be so sort of grounded based on such a ridiculous premise.
Yeah.
But we go forward on it. Callow's sort of does a little snigger on that. It's just like, ha ha, well done, you pranked me. What's the real demand?
Yeah, it's like I feel like it's like mostly straight, but it's like there's a little bit of like dark humor of just like, okay, yeah, this is a bunch of bullshit. This is not happening.
Yeah, and it's just great. When they then tell him, no, that is the demand. We can't trace this person. There's no code words. We don't know who they are, but we can verify that video is legit. So he sort of, it dawns on him slightly at that point, and he goes, well, it's simple. I don't have to do this act.
Because he's basically like, yeah, okay. First off, no, that's not happening. Let's just get that up there. First of all, second of all, let's find this guy.
Yeah, And whatever you do, the press do not pick this up. I want small contingent. This doesn't leak anywhere. We've seen this video. That's it. No one's going to see this.
Kind of like it's like it was like, okay, let's Osama bin Laden, this guy. It's just like
Yeah.
It's just like it's nice and quiet.
Yeah, nice and quiet. Just one team, in and out, done. And no press. No one's going to see the video, except they did.
Turns out the video's from YouTube.
Yep. There you go.
Source of all evil in the universe.
What's the YouTube? I don't know what the YouTube is.
Oh, the YouTube.
Yeah.
We know what the YouTube is. Well, we probably wouldn't have known back in 2011 because it was only a few years old at that point. Nowhere near as the behemoth as it is now. Same with Twitter, which is also mentioned later on. Have you gathered that the idea that this might be what if social media? But no, stop. So yeah, no, it was on YouTube and it went viral. And at the time that they watched it, 50,000 views.
Yeah.
And people are just.
I think that's one of the things which they get wrong.
It would have so many more.
It will be, but at this point we would be talking millions today.
Now, to be fair, they did say that this was in the first 9 minutes of it being uploaded, and they immediately took it down.
Yeah.
By the time the news breaks, like that morning, like they say, like 14 million people have seen copies of the video across all platforms. So that's more realistic.
Yeah, but still, I would assume it would be a little more higher, much more higher.
And that's the thing. They said, the media in the UK have voluntarily agreed not to show the video, but they did mention that it is trending on Twitter, which it's like
the Facebook coverage is excellent.
Yeah, it's just like, wow, cool, we're straight up on there, and it's quickly apparent that there's no sort of. They say in there is no playbook for this. This is an unprecedented situation.
They call it virgin territory.
Yeah, virgin territory. And
I just want to quickly go back a little bit, and I want to mention how, like, being a guy who watches a bit of anime, the whole like interrogation scene kind of it reminds me a little bit of like that the episode in Death Note where like Misa Amane, as the second Kira, is like making public broadcasts and issuing demands. It's like, I want to see L on TV so I can hold him hostage or whatever. It's like it's kind of like the same feeling. That was just a random thought that I had while I was watching it last night. It's like, oh, that kind of feels like that.
Yeah. So we now cut to a couple, the nurse and her layabout boyfriend. She wakes him up and it's like, oh no, have you seen this? This the princess has got kidnapped, and they're like, bullshit. It's not on the news. And they're like, well, why is it not? And then we cut to the offices of highly respected news organisation UKN. If you've never heard of UKN in the news, don't worry, they don't exist.
Ooh, I want them to exist.
Now, you'll see them later in other Black Mirror episodes. They are the go-to news corporation whenever they need to do sort of news reports and media. And they're the best way to get Easter eggs from episodes in, which once we got to Netflix, they throw some in there, and we'll explain them in further episodes. But yeah, so we cut to UKN, and Martin, sort of the head of UKN, is having a meeting with all the reporters of how to deal with the situation, how they can best sort of get the news out there without breaking the D notice for this. But he's arguing with this female reporter, Malika, and she's trying to basically overrule him on this point and just saying, well, the public wants to know. The public already know. Why the hell are we not breaking this story? And it's just like, well, because we're upholding this notice.
We're trying to be professional, We're trying. There's a person's life in danger,
Yeah, and it's great. It's just like, look, no one else is doing it in the UK. The Beeb's not doing it. Sort of ITN, all this stuff, they're not doing it. And then the moment he says that, like the best timing in the world, an intern comes in the door and goes, "It's on Fox and CNN, Al Jazeera, HNK," and he goes, "Well, shit."
It's like, well, cat's out of the bag.
Yep.
Time to play catch up.
Yeah, and he phones one of the advisors, Tom, and lets him know, no, can't do it. We tried, but we're breaking the story. And he's just like, oh fuck, we're not doing this. And he's then having a conversation with the female advisor, Alex, about sorting out, how they can do this. Sort of maybe try and turn it into a human interest story and just try and keep it as low down as possible. And she's got other ideas because she's staging a fake sex act.
Yeah, she's working on a backup plan where they're gonna try and CGI.
Yeah,
Callow's face or over some actor.
Yep. And they've hired this VFX artist and they say, oh, is it possible to do this single handheld motion? And he's just like, oh yeah, it's great. And they go under the bodyguard or whatever he is, the sort of the Secret Service agent at that point. He's just like, need it done in 2 hours. And the guy's just like, no.
What do you mean no?
Yeah, he's just like, well, no, you've got 2 hours. So it's just like, okay, so cool. They're going on this backup plan. That's going to go well. And we then cut back to Callow and his advisor, and they're all talking. Is that the confirmed stuff that they already knew at the beginning, that it's not a member of any major terrorist group. It's an individual. They have no information. He's unconvinced on that, and is just like, no, we can find him. And so I think they mentioned sort of the Osama bin Laden, not Obama. Thanks, Obama.
Obama got the Osama. That's why this is confusing. It's a one-letter difference, but a big personality difference.
Yeah. So, he's unconvinced. He's reckoning, no, we know who it is. Someone will know. We can find him. And then UKN break the story. It's there all on the news. And it's being watched everywhere. We cut to the nurse in the hospital. All the staff are watching it, including the 2 porters who are just shitting on the whole thing. It's like, oh, it's going to be better. Just do that. It's just going to happen. It's like, oh God, stop it. We go to cut to a pub. Woman, the landlady is taking a delivery of crisps from the delivery man. And did you see the plaque in the background?
Nope.
For
There's
this
a plaque in the background?
Yeah, there was a plaque on there. It just clearly shows that there's still a little bit of satire in this pub, because on the side there's a plaque that says hot beer, lousy food, bad service. Welcome and have a nice day. Just like, oh, this is a nice pub.
Sounds like
sure,
it.
They want the stuff. So we got that, and then we got a guy working on some tools and stuff in a workshop. Looks like an artist workshop. Yeah, nothing going on there. So yeah, and then kid walks in, and she's speaking with the delivery driver, and remember she's like, oh, she's probably gonna ask for $1 million quid, and something like that. And the kid just says, nah, he's meant to have sex on live TV. And it's like,
What?
wow, nice kid.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah. Sat there with his phone. Looks like he's about to play some games on it. He'd probably play Fortnite if this was set now. But yeah.
He probably somehow still is, even though it is made like eight years ago.
Yeah, true. It's probably some.
That's how much Fortnite has permeated pop culture at this point. It's just like it's going into the past now.
Yeah. So we then snap cut back to the government building, wherever they are, which I think is just Downing Street. Just some analog for that. Tom's trying to get an update on the paper websites, Telegraph, The Sun, and all that. And Malika is trying to get a government intern to spill the beans on, sort of what's happening. He says no, and she goes, okay, fine. And she then goes to a toilet and takes her top off.
Yay!
Sends nudes.
Yeah, which I've got on my notes here is one photo op later and a deal is made.
Yeah.
So yeah, if only that actually worked in real reporting territory. It's just like,
how do you know it doesn't?
Fair enough. It is very, very possible. And then back to UKN. We're about 11:40 in the day on this now. There we mentioned that it was viewed over 18 million times on YouTube and is blowing up on Twitter. And then we get that little bit of vox pops, just the random person on the street just going, no, he shouldn't do it. They'll find her.
Yeah, they have a lovely little like visual bit here where where it's like, all the people being interviewed on the streets are like, oh, this is a disgusting act. This person's a madman. I don't think the Prime Minister should give in to his demands. Meanwhile, there's another, the woman I think I can't remember if it's the Prime Minister's wife or just some random woman. I can't remember who it is, but some woman's like on her laptop looking at like YouTube comments, and like all the YouTube comments are just like pig fucker. It's like fuck the pig, like whatever. So it's like
Hamgate and stuff like that.
There's like a little bit of human duality, talking all fancy, where it's like the public face of being all proper and doing the right thing and saying the right thing, but
social media has different plans.
Social media is like, do whatever you want, everything's free.
Yeah. Oh.
No regrets.
Oh, she's gonna have to suck on pig dick. Yeah, it's like oh, she's gonna have hammy cock. So that turns out that was actually Callow's wife, Jane, who's reading the comments, and she's basically busts into the meeting room. It's like, this is my house. I was like, I think you'll find it's not. I think you'll find it's down the street. She goes in. It's just like, what happens if you have to do this? And Callow's like, well, nothing. Nothing's gonna happen because it's not gonna happen. We're gonna find him. And she's like, but what if you don't? With the human beings, we love humiliation. The event,
It's true.
It's like people are going to want this to happen, even if it doesn't. People are going to think about it.
Yeah, it's already people love humiliation. In their minds, it's already happening. I believe that's like more or less the quote that comes up there.
Yeah, and it's just like, no, it's going to be fine. So he then gets a phone call from the Queen.
The Queen, capital Q.
Yep.
Who we pick up with her later, but basically it comes down to, it's like she strongly emphasizes that she believes that the Prime Minister should do everything that he can to get the princess back. Sort of like low-key implying, like, I really don't care if you have to fuck a pig. Like, just get her back.
Yeah, because she says, she's like, notice how they didn't say we, she said me. So it's just like, oh, okay, fair enough. You've been given your orders, sir. I brought this up. They cut back to the nurse a bit, and they were talking about Stuttgart 95. They were talking about a Lars von Trier film, or sort of the way of doing sort of sex films, natural lighting, make sure nothing's faked. It's funny on that. The nurse, in that she was played by Sophie Kennedy Clarke, she would later on end up in two of Lars von Trier's films. She would play the character B in Nymphomaniac Volume 1 and Nymphomaniac Volume 2. So if you want your weird porn films and you decide that 50 Shades of Grey isn't quite down your street, there you go.
All my life's a circle.
Should we do the podcast about the Nymphomaniac?
What, should we do a rewatch of Nymphomaniac?
Yeah.
Sorry, a watch of, because I haven't watched them. I honestly haven't.
That's an
I'll just put that
idea.
in there. Yeah, disclaimer. There was that little bit that cut to UK, and they've got the two panelists on talking. They're just like, I don't know, this is unprecedented. We've never had a situation where someone's had to make love to a pig before. And they just cut back to
make love.
Yeah, can you just get them to like skip the details, please? And they do that. But no, success. They've traced the video back. 56.k connections, encryption bits, and all that techno babble.
I actually really like that. That's like this nice humorous moment there where it's like, and it's just like I was like, so 56 bits, right? And then the Prime Minister's just like, and like shakes his head, and the woman looks at him and is like, no, boring algorithms, no, okay. Anyway, so basically we did this, and that's how we found him.
Yeah. No, I did actually, just that sort of, that bit of just like, no, he really doesn't care, just gets to the point, and she's like, realises at that point, and just like, right, okay, what does he want to know? Yes, this. So they've found where the video was recorded, apparently an abandoned school campus or some sort of campus. So they reckon they've found the kidnapper, and she's there, because she's going to be quite clearly there. So they organise a strike team, and there's just that little bit you don't think you notice, but Callow just in the background, he does a fist pump and just goes, yes.
I mean, I gotta tell you, I called it from a million miles away that the guy was not gonna be there.
Yeah, and spoilers, he's not there, but funny situation on how it gets there soon. So yeah, we cut back to the visual effects studio. The artist thinks he's there, he's ready to go, and the actor is on his way. And they've hired a porn star.
I seem surprisingly, shockingly excited about the whole thing. Honestly.
Yeah, even though he mentions at that point, it's just like bestiality is illegal. I mean, where do I sign? Where do I sign my check? When do I get cash? And Mr. Bodyguard guy's just like, Secret Service guy's just like,
there's no
you're
check.
not getting paid. Yeah, this is just like Dariusz has just got it there. It's just like, no, you're doing this for Queen and Country, basically.
Well, no. What I get it from it is okay. He might get paid for
there won't be any invoicing.
but there will be no invoicing. Like there will be no trace of it.
Okay,
That's what I
be
get
a
from
cash
it.
under the table transaction.
So no one is gonna know that this has ever happened, which is immediately shot down when some fucking idiot finds him and just goes, "Oi, oi!" and manages to snap a picture of him. And then speaking of sort of missions, Malika manages to get the news off Mr. Intern that he's got a nice rescue plan being operated, and he is promptly rewarded.
With more nudes.
Yeah, what a day for him.
A full body nude, by the sound of it.
Yeah, because it's just a whole load of unzipping and stuff, isn't it? So it's just like, well, perfect. So yeah, we then cut back to our porn actor, and oh my god, what's his name again?
I
Yes.
don't know.
Yes, that's it. Rod Senseless.
Rod Senseless.
So yeah, great porn actor. He introduces himself to Secret Service guy who just like goes, I don't care. Passes him a Michael Callow suit number 1, and then says get changed. And Rod is looking for somewhere to get changed, and he's just like, no. But then he then asks to meet the pig, and he's told it's just in the truck. So they've got the pig there, ready to go, which as we found out a few minutes before the podcast is called Madge, just a giant female pig.
Madge.
She's just.
He says something like, "It would be rude not to give her a kiss first."
Yeah. Oh god. Oh, good times. So the strike team's in position now. So the government have watched because Julian had requested head cameras so they could watch the operation, and Callow is just smoking away at the back of his meeting room, and Tom just arrives to him and just says that the public is on your side. You do not have blood on your hands if the princess gets killed. Yeah, that's something that he really needs to know. So beforehand, it's like, well, it's either you're going to fuck a pig, we get the princess, or you don't fuck a pig and the princess dies. But don't worry, it's not your fault.
Yeah, and it's like that you get that sort of like political angle of like your image as a leader, as an influential figure, versus like your duty. It's like is it more important to seem like an effective leader? It was not that's someone we proud of as a member of your nation, or is it more important to like do your job and do what's got to be done, no matter how dirty it is?
So, he's not exactly reassured, but at least he knows what's going on. Back at UKN, they get a courier delivery. They get a thumb drive and a
finger.
Yeah, nice
finger in a box.
Yeah, a finger
my
in a
finger
box.
in a box.
A lonely island this isn't, but it's nice that they've given this finger. It's all great, and the file is then played with a video that just says, "I gave you rules. I said no cheating. Rod Senseless, please." And then a video of what presumes to be Susanna saying bye finger. And then UKN do what every news corporation does with a finger, and that's film it and then break the story. And does the public opinion change?
Yeah, he went from like an 86% approval rating. I was just like, he shouldn't do it, so it's like 28% people think he should do it to like 86%. That was the change.
Yeah. And so it's just like, now, look, while there was still a chance of getting her unharmed, that's fine, but this guy's serious. We want our royal. Fuck the pig. And yeah, he, at this point, he loses it, especially, at that point when Alex then tells him, yeah, we had the backup plan of you having a staged actor. Now,
which he knew nothing about.
Yeah, he didn't know anything about it because he had the list of instructions, which was single handheld camera, spend X time doing the pig, no one gets in the way, all that sort of stuff. No one helps him. He just does it, and that's it. So when he finds out that, Alex has went behind his back to try and fail to have a contingency plan, he absolutely loses it. He lays his hands on her, which at that point, my public opinion of him changes and just like, oh no, you are an arsehole now.
Yeah, it's like, and it's a whole other thing. It's just like, man, one person in your administration, tries to go over your head or do something that you didn't approve of. They screw it up, and then it's your name that's on the line. It's your ass that's on the line when they screw up on your watch. So it's like, it talks about how, like, how dramatically, how dramatic of a shift there can be in public opinion of a administration, with just one or two major mistakes like that.
Yeah, and it just ends up being just grating on that situation. But they still go on the idea that it doesn't matter because they found him and they're going to extract Susanna. So they launch the operation, and Malika is there on the scene now, without her crew because they get held up by the police blockade. So she's just there with mobile phone footage. Hey, technology. What if handheld live streams? It's all great. Everything works. I mean, Alex tries to discuss another plan, and he's just like, shut the fuck up from Callow, just like, straight hand, up, don't speak to me. And at that point, I think he sort of, the respect between them is lost at that point. And, they get into the building, though. They succeed to find a blow-up doll.
Yeah.
I just love it. Just, the SWAT team guy goes in and just like runs over and then just lifts his goggles up and just goes, shit.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
It's like, you just let the Prime Minister down.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
At that point they realise that the kidnapper was clever and just bounced the relays and stuff like that and just set up a fake kidnap location. But they did manage to get something out of it. They find Malika.
And shoot her in the leg.
Shot her in the leg.
And it took them very long time to shoot that bullet.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it took a lot, and let's just say the guy's accuracy...
That's just a valuable lesson. Don't run from the police if you're innocent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
if you are innocent, just throw your hands up and say, I fucked up, please don't shoot me. I'm going to die. I don't want to die.
If in that situation, if the cops, the SWAT team or whatever they are, they should straight away aim for the head, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, and then what do they do? They basically incapacitate by shooting her ankle out, don't they, and just sort of capture her. And then I love that bit afterwards where she's just like, she's on the floor, she's like, no, I'm this.
I found it funny. I found it funny when they, first of all, break the glass with a hammer, break the window with the hammer, and then shoot it through it. Why don't you shoot in the first place?
Yeah, probably they didn't want bullets deflecting and stuff like that. I mean, his accuracy was poor anyway. He fired at the ground about 800 times before he tore her ankle. But but I still love that the double bit where the advisors are like, oh, who's she? Oh, Malika something or other. She's a reporter. Oh, fuck. And then the SWAT guy who's like goes, is that your footage? And she's like, yeah. And just shoots it and he goes, oh, well, there goes your RTS award. Just like, you're not being like an award-winning newscaster now.
It's like, yeah, pretty much what you got what you deserved there.
Yeah, and but yeah, that there gets to that point. The Callow now.
They're all out of options. They have no idea where the perp is. The pickup location was a dud. The CGI plan fell through.
Yeah, there's nothing left. There's no time.
Time's running out.
There's sort of 30 minutes at that point. And Alex then decides that basically she's done with Callow, and basically says to him at that point, no, there's no other options. Now, you can either leave this princess to die, but you will be crucified, and I cannot guarantee the safety of you or your family. Now, we should mention at this point that Jane and Michael Callow have a newborn baby, because with the fact that she's looking at the laptop, there was been just a newborn baby in the side, so that pushes him at that point, and then he's just dumbfounded from this point on. He's empty. There's nothing left. So for it to get even worse for him, it just sort of just gets there, because he just realises there's nothing left to do. He has to do it. So we cut to a convoy at 35 minutes past 3 on the TV, of a convoy heading towards a TV studio. And Callow gets a phone call from his wife, and he just ignores it. And she just sobs uncontrollably. She knows what he's about to do. And there's nothing left. It's just emptiness. Tom gives one last helpful piece of advice to say that, and Alex, that anyone having the video after midnight on the day of the act is illegal. And then there's also mentioned that there'll be a brown tone noise designed to put people off from watching it. They don't seem to know audiences.
Make everyone shit themselves.
yeah, it's just meant to repulse them before it even started. Not that works.
And as for the act itself, they mentioned that they have some visual aids to assist him in the deed.
Yeah, which in things just leads to a couple of flat screen TVs showing what could look to be the 69 position.
Yeah, it's just some porn.
Just some random porn position.
And and I think one of them, there's another line where he says the suggestions that we've had are you want to be relatively brief, but don't go too fast, because that makes it look like you're enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's like you kind of want to pace it out appropriately.
Yeah, it's just, oh man, that's just mad, because now we just sort of intercut between sort of Callow walking down this long corridor. He's took some medication or whatever to just try and, probably anti-nausea or something to stop him from going crazy. Maybe even some
possibly
Viagra.
a Viagra. Yeah, I was gonna say. Because I gotta say, erectile dysfunction or not, you're not getting it up for that.
Yeah, no, that's very true. And sort of the areas that we've seen, the artist workshop, the pub, the hospital, they're all getting the message. Lazy bastard in the bed is still in the bed at this point, and
it's 4 in the afternoon, and he hasn't gotten out of bed yet. He's been awake for 8 hours.
Yeah, and he just looks at the TV, because they say that they do not record this on any device, and he just goes, fuck that, pushes the record button. At that point I just had a thought for a second that he was going to be the one person in the country not to watch it, but no, he just pushes record. And we look out on the streets of London, surrounding areas at that point, and it is just
empty
completely. We come back to Callow, and he's there in the closed set. We've got the flat screen TVs. We've got the pig just chewing away. It does not give no shits. Just there. I mean, they did say that they sedated the pig, didn't they? So it was just
they sedated it.
Yeah, so it's just sat there, and there's just this one cameraman with his handheld camera. It's like literal skeleton crew. It's just one guy. So I must sort of feel for him. So Callow, he goes and looks, says his piece to camera. It's like, I'm doing this for, I hope that Princess Susanna's returned unharmed. I also just like to tell my wife that I do love her. And then pants off.
Yep.
And so the crowd are just there, and they're just like, oh, hey, look at this, and then they go ooh, and then they do this, and it just then subsides, because at this point the public opinion starts to switch again. We sort of went from sort of this idea of this arrogance of no, he's not going to do it, to outrage that he's not doing it, to then sympathy of watching this one man have to do this unspeakably dirty act
for over an hour.
Yeah.
Say.
Yeah. So he was just doing it, and he's sobbing all the way through. The crowd in all the places are now silent. And the artist sets up a chair and has got some rope, and we're cutting everywhere, and now got the music going over. Crowd cuts of disgust and horror, and yet sympathy for what they're seeing. And then we cut to the artist workshop again, where there's just a man hanging from the ceiling, notably missing one little finger.
Yes,
They're
indeed.
like, so we watched something intriguing at this point. And then also while that's happening on Millennium Bridge in London, just a lone woman in a green dress
Appears.
is stumbling across. Yeah, she appears, she collapses. Passers-by who decided they're not watching the video now, come and help. Police officer picks her up. It's Princess Susanna. She's just wandering the streets.
And
Yep.
she walking out with one shoe.
Yeah, just there. And then we cut to Callow. He's now done the act, and he's puking his guts up in the toilet. The fact that he managed to keep it in for an hour before, everywhere, is there. And then here's the hitter. Alex gets a phone call from the other advisor. You've not seen him for the whole of the episode, and he just phones up. He's just like, "Yeah, we found Susanna. She was on the bridge. It turned out she was let go at 3:30.
So half an hour before he pulled the pick.
Yeah.
So the big punchline to the whole episode is this artist wanted to make a statement about how obsessed we are with media and technology, and and how with everyone glued to their screens and nobody even noticed that the princess was let go and that he didn't even have to do it in the first place.
Yeah. And it went to sort of a point that he was so disappointed about the whole situation that he just so disappointed with humanity at that point in social media that he just hung himself. So, that sort of comes up. And at that point, Alex then goes, wipe that from the story. No one knows that this happened. Least of all, not the Prime Minister.
Yeah, we found Princess Susanna 5 minutes ago. She was we had to fight the guy off and everything. It's like whatever you got to do to make the story sound right. Just don't tell them.
Don't tell them that it wasn't actually worth it. So, yeah. And then Jane tries to phone the Prime Minister one last time, and he does what he's been doing the whole thing. He just ignores her and just breaks down. He's a shell of a man. But we start to get to the credits of the programme, and 1 year on, he's the most popular Prime Minister in history.
Yeah, no, public opinion has shifted away. Public interest has really shifted away from the incident entirely. Everyone just seems to be interested in moving on to whatever else comes next.
Yeah, and he's then most popular Prime Minister. Everything's great. Susanna's on the red carpet. She's all got over the ordeal. Nothing wrong with her now. She's got over the trauma, and she's pregnant. Yay!
Hooray! She's having a baby.
Yeah, woo, roll baby.
And like I said, the world has just moved on.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, I mean, UKN are still running a piece on the artist now named as Carlton Bloom, on whether this was just one big art piece, whether it was the greatest art piece in history, or whether it was just a disturbed man, who just had problems with the world. The latter. So that was great. And then we show both the Callows at number 10. Everything's great and they're smiling, and then they walk into the door and snap. Jane Callow doesn't believe Michael Callow exists anymore. The relationship is just a front. She cannot forgive him. He is not part of that family. She just ignores him and goes upstairs. And we fade out with him just going, Jane, Jane, Jane.
Bum bum ba da bum 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 ba da.
Yeah, and that's the Metal Gear Solid ending for episode 1 of Black Mirror. So yeah, thoughts?
Lots, honestly. It's a great show. I have to say, I've after only having seen one episode, I really fell for it. I like it. It's layered, Like it's like there's a lot going on to talk about. I could probably spend another 30 minutes just going on, just unpacking all the allusions and references and just random thoughts and feelings I had while watching this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just, that's the thing. Like I say, we went into this initially, me who was 7 years younger, went into this just thinking it was just going to be sort of a comedy, a spoof.
And it's like there are some lightly comedic sort of there's a dark comedy undertone.
Oh yeah.
But no, a lot of it is played very straight as well. So it's like you never know which way it's gonna go, depending on from scene to scene.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. For every Rod senseless, you've got Callow nearly punching a woman in the face. For every Malika nude shot, you've got
Algorithms equals boring.
Yeah, that's the thing. So that's the bar. I mean, I know it's an anthology series, so there isn't a continuing storyline that you can keep sort of going into it. But as an episode on its own, the bar is set straight away.
Yeah, for me it was very well. I didn't enjoy it, to be honest. I really didn't. I do like, all that kind of dark things, but somehow I didn't found it entertaining.
No, I can see where you come from. I mean. Yeah, at that point, that is
and because it
still
was
political intrigue.
Yeah, and well, to be honest, I will be watching this whole series again only because you want to do the podcast for it. But that first episode, really pushed me off from it ages ago when I first saw it, and I was nope, that's not my thing. I'm not gonna watch it again.
Okay.
I mean, teach their own. I can understand why someone wouldn't be into it.
Yeah,
my interest is just like I don't know. I like unpacking something that has kind of a complicated message behind it. I like trying to deconstruct what it was that the writer and director was trying to tell me through the story. And sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it's a big hammer that hits you over the head and tells you what they were trying to say. And there was some of both going on throughout this episode, I found.
Yeah. And me, sort of personally, like I say, I mean, it stands up on its own, and it's very, sort of relevant in this. I mean, here's a little, I say Easter egg, a trivia tidbit. So we know that this was done in 2011. In 2015, then Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, David Cameron, forever known as David Cameron, had backstories leaked in that while he was as a member of a club, he had an initiation ceremony where he had to put his dig into a mouth of a dead pig.
Yeah, I was wondering when we were going to get around to the point where we addressed the pig in the room, so to speak, of how this is a great big allusion to.
Yeah, the sort of the foreshadowing, this sort of prediction-ish like nature that sort of happened. Yeah, no, so that happened, and And it was brought up by Charlie Brooker himself on the weekly wipe, or was it the wipe of the year? One of the wipes, and he has the David Cameron Gammon scale, which was just based on how pink David Cameron's face would be at any given point, but it worked doubly well because of this pig story. So it was just great. But no, I can see where you're coming from. I mean, it's a bit, like you say, it can be a bit heavy-handed on what the subject matter is. The way things goes, and as a way of showing how sort of technology was involved in it. I mean, it's a little it was just more of hive minding, sort of dissemination of media, sort of how that can affect people, but it didn't influence, in a sense. People just saw it, and they had their opinions based on that, but it was other stuff that was happening in the background that caused the events, not the social media itself. I mean, a lot of this came on the fact
the
that
social media in this case was more of a tool. It's just, it is the means through which the information was propagated. It was not used as a weapon. It wasn't it wasn't harshly criticized. It's just it is what it is. It does what it do.
Yeah, and let's say, I guess compared to other episodes in the series, this will go down the list of the top Black Mirror episodes. But as an opener, that's as it was. So, yeah.
I was surprised at how often I found myself thinking about Game of Thrones. Actually, I don't know why. I wrote several notes about it, like how there was that wonderful line by Mr. Cameron, or not Cameron. That's the one. Mr. Callow.
Callow, yes.
It's crazy that they both have C for their
name.
But how he has this wonderful line of like. where was it? It's like fuck the public, fuck the party, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and immediately my mind jumps to the Hound from season 2. He's like fuck the gate, fuck the city, fuck the king.
Yeah, yeah, it's sort of inspired at that point.
And then you had that bit where they're announcing that the act is about to take place, and it's like, oh, well, the broadcast you're about to see contains someone doing an indecent act, and everyone at the pub raises their glasses like, way, kind of like how like when people see the Game of Thrones disclaimer of like, oh, it's about sex and nudity, it's like everyone goes, way, sex and nudity, our favorite.
Yeah.
No, who
it's
doesn't
just,
like nudity? Everyone loves it.
No.
No.
It's just putting shining a little light on the layman's obsessive interest with morbid curiosity and just like wanting to get away with a dirty or indecent act or even glorifying it to an extent.
Yeah, it's always like that sort of case though, isn't it? That sort of bringing yourself away. Yeah, oh, I'd love to watch that on TV, but to watch it actually happen, as sort of shown, it's just not going to work. So.
And then there's like, then there's the whole thing of like, I feel like I'm not the only one in feeling like maybe there was some inspiration by we talk about the real life Prime Minister David Cameron, but we're also kind of I feel like maybe alluding a little bit to Princess Diana, the late Princess Diana, who passed away. What was it, in the 90s?
97.
97. That's the one. And it's kind of like it's like when you take something sort of scandalous but relatively harmless, like David Cameron having sex with a pig, and something like genuinely tragic and heartbreaking, like the death of the death of Princess Diana. It's like you're sort of colliding these two themes of like tragedy and scandal into like one cohesive narrative, and it's like it's kind of interesting with like today's landscape, because it's like there was a time, maybe not even long ago, probably maybe around the time that this originally aired, where tragedy was happening all over the place, but everyone was too obsessed with the scandals to really pay it much mind. But now it's like you want to take a look at like the Trump administration. It's like,
Oh yeah.
since bring that back from way at the beginning of this recording, it's kind of like the two go hand in hand, very much like this the National Anthem. It's like the tragedy is the scandal and the scandal is the tragedy, and everyone is obsessed with it in the same way that people are depicted in this show. And it's shocking how hard they hit that nail on the head so far ahead of time.
Yeah. So that'll be the thing, and we will wrap up with that sombering thought, because I'll tell you, the rabbit hole does get a little bit deeper. But yeah, we'll if you could join us next week, where we will then discuss 15 Million Merits, where we can now look at reality TV and Xbox avatars, again along with sort of media hive minds. We'll see how dark that goes. But if you like what you heard, please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, leave some feedback, comment, do whatever you need to do.
And don't kill each other.
Yeah, don't kill each other. One last thing before we go, though, I will put a graph up. It's the deaths to Black Mirror episodes ratio. It's gonna get fun as we go through there. And I know that's a bad thing to say, but just watch how it goes. There's going to be an episode that'll ruin that all for you. But until next time...
So we have one death to one episode,
One episode.
Right? One suicide to one episode.
That is correct. But yeah, we will leave it for that for this week. So thank you, Duncan, and thank you, Dariusz.
No worries.
And until next time.
See you later.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.